You are stopping for gas every 150 miles like some kind of amateur. Meanwhile, there are bikes out here that will blow past the 300-mile mark on a single tank. They leave you laughing at every gas station you fly by. 12 machines make the cut. These are real-world miles per gallon, not the fantasy numbers on the brochure. Let us get into it. Launching the countdown with efficiency at number 12, BMW F900GS Adventure. Built between 2024 and 2026, this is the baby of the GS family. Nobody respects it because of that, but they should. Underneath it sits a parallel twin engine, displacing 895 cubic centimeters. It sips fuel like it is scared to waste it. Here is the math. 6.1 gallons multiplied by 50 miles per gallon equals 305 miles before you even think about the reserve light. The tank is deeply sculpted with knee cutouts. These lock you into an exceptionally comfortable, locked-in riding posture for hour after hour. What the brochure skips is the upgraded acoustic profile of the updated exhaust system. It keeps engine drone out of your helmet so your ears do not burn after 6 hours on the interstate. Buyers walk right past it in the showroom because it looks like a starter bike sitting next to its bigger, louder siblings. That is precisely the mistake that keeps this machine so reasonably priced on the used market. 305 miles is nothing to scoff at from a middleweight twin. It is still small enough to filter through city traffic without turning every parking lot into a wrestling match. It is the rare bike that is genuinely comfortable, both commuting on Monday and touring on Saturday. Used prices land between $14,000 and $16,500. This is basically near new money for a bike this fresh. This is the right machine for the rider who wants top-tier electronics on a sharp middleweight frame without hauling around the full-size GS. But if you think 305 miles is impressive, wait until an Italian V4 enters the chat. Imagine standing in front of a bike you want, the seller swearing it's perfect. That's where riders overpay by thousands on a $10,000 bike. Our buyer's kit tells you what it's really worth, your fair price, and when to walk away. A wrong bike costs thousands. This kit, just $49. The easiest money you'll ever save. Scan the QR on the right or tap the link in the description. Let's get that bike you've always wanted for even cheaper. Defeating gas-guzzling nightmares at number 11. Ducati Multistrada V4 Rally. Ducati does not exactly have a reputation for fuel sipping. So when the Multistrada V4 Rally showed up between 2023 and 2026 with genuine touring range, everybody assumed it was a typo. It is not. The engine is a howling V4 measuring 1,158 cubic centimeters. The math still works out in your favor. 7.9 gallons times 39 miles per gallon equals 308.1 miles. That is with an engine that wants to be revved. Front and rear radar systems run adaptive cruise control, so your right hand does not cramp up somewhere in Nebraska. Ducati pulls off this efficiency sorcery using rear cylinder deactivation technology. It literally shuts down half the engine when you are idling at a red light or cruising through a school zone. This keeps heat off your thighs and fuel in the tank. Most riders assume an Italian V4. This aggressive has to be a gas-guzzling nightmare. That is exactly why so few people go looking for it as a genuine long-range option. 308 miles from a V4 that also happens to be one of the fastest engines on this entire list is a genuinely rare combination. You are not sacrificing a single ounce of personality to get the range. Realistic used pricing sits at $22,000 to $26,000. This is steep, but you are buying massive horsepower alongside genuine long-range capability. This is built for the enthusiast who refuses to choose between a track weapon and a continent crusher. Before we keep counting down, hit that subscribe button right now so you do not miss what is coming next. Gliding in with effortless cruise at number 10, BMW R1250RT. Produced from 2019 through 2024, the RT is BMW's answer to riders who want to disappear over the horizon in total silence and total comfort. The heart of it is the legendary Boxer twin, displacing 1,254 cubic centimeters. The cylinders stick straight out into the wind. 6.6 gallons multiplied by 48 miles per gallon gives you 316.8 miles per fill-up. The windshield adjusts electronically at the push of a button to fine-tune the airflow hitting your helmet. That is a level of thoughtfulness most manufacturers do not even attempt. It also comes standard with an audio system that automatically increases the volume as your road speed goes up. This ensures your classic rock tunes stay perfectly crisp even over the roar of highway semi-trucks. People overlook this bike because it looks like something your accountant would ride. It is all conservative curves and full bodywork. What they are missing is a machine engineered from the ground up for exactly the kind of highway miles this list is celebrating. The integrated hard panniers are completely weather-sealed and aerodynamic. This means they carry 2 full-face helmets without adding an ounce of wind drag to ruin your fuel efficiency. Used examples run $25,000 down to a still serious $15,000. This is the bike for the pure sport touring traditionalist who wants to track long, paved highways in total luxury. Our next entry trades pavement luxury for something considerably more stubborn and considerably more retro. Smashing capacities at number 9, KTM 640 Adventure. Manufactured way back between 1998 and 2007, this thing predates half the riders currently watching this video. That is exactly the appeal. A single-cylinder engine displacing 625 cc sits inside a rally raid chassis that looks like it just crossed the Sahara. 7.4 gallons times 42 miles per gallon comes out to 310.8 miles. This is a genuinely shocking number from a bike this old and this simple. The seated ergonomics are a bit rough by modern standards. You will want aftermarket foam padding if you plan on staying seated for long stretches. This vintage weapon relies on high-end WP suspension that was originally tuned for professional desert racing. It allows you to smash through deep sand dunes or rocky creek beds without ever bottoming out the frame. Younger riders skip it entirely because there is no fuel injection, no traction control, and definitely no smartphone connectivity. There is, however, a massive tank strapped to a bulletproof single. That is arguably worth more than any of that. It even includes a dual delivery fuel petcock system. This allows you to manually toggle over to a reserve supply that holds an extra 3/4 of a gallon of fuel for absolute emergencies. A bike this old still cracking 310 miles proves something important. You do not need a computer telling the engine how to behave in order to get real, usable range out in the middle of nowhere. The used market prices these at $3,500 to $5,000. This is an almost insulting bargain for a bike with this kind of Dakar-inspired tank capacity. This is the machine for the retro dual sport purist who thinks fuel injection is basically cheating. Speaking of fuel injection, our next bike is the middleweight sibling that BMW built to slot in just below the big boxer. Securing a narrower footprint at number 8, BMW F850GS Adventure. Sold from 2019 to 2023, this bike exists purely because some riders looked at the massive R1250GS and said, that is simply too much bike. So BMW gave them a parallel twin at 853 cc instead. The tank math reads 6.1 gallons, multiplied by 53 miles per gallon. This lands at 323.3 miles of range. The wide front fairing creates a genuinely quiet pocket of still air. This eliminates helmet buffeting even when you are cruising at full interstate speed. Under the plastic, BMW utilized a steel bridge frame with a long cast aluminum swing arm. This setup was designed explicitly to distribute heavy luggage weight evenly across the chassis, so the front wheel stays firmly planted on steep climbs. It gets constantly overshadowed by its big brother in every showroom conversation. That is exactly why it quietly holds a better real-world efficiency number while weighing considerably less. Being lighter also means less fatigue, picking the bike up off its side stand at the end of a long day. That is something the bigger GS riders will never openly admit to struggling with. The dynamic electronic suspension adjustment continuously measures terrain resistance every fraction of a second. It stiffens up the rear shock automatically whenever you add a passenger or load up the heavy aluminum side cases. Used pricing sits between $9,500 and $13,000. This is a serious discount compared to its bigger sibling. This is the right call for the mid-weight adventure rider who wants a narrower footprint without giving up a single mile of fuel range. But if narrow is not your priority and budget is, our next bike might be the most sensible machine on this entire list. Snagging a wallet-friendly workhorse at number 7, Kawasaki Versys 650. Built continuously from 2015 all the way to 2024, the Versys 650 is the definition of an under-the-radar workhorse. It runs a parallel twin displacing 649cc. Nobody is buying it for bragging rights at the bike meet. They are buying it because 5.5 gallons times 55 miles per gallon equals 302.5 miles. This is an outstanding number from a genuinely affordable machine. The riding triangle is completely neutral and upright. It keeps pressure entirely off your lower back on long, boring interstate stretches. Kawasaki equipped this machine with a manual, 4-way adjustable windscreen. It lets you deflect highway blast completely over your shoulders without requiring a single tool to change the angle. It has been in production for the better part of a decade without ever becoming a headline bike. That is exactly why the used market has completely stopped paying attention to it. That kind of production longevity means parts are everywhere, and mechanics know it inside and out. Nothing about ownership is going to surprise you at year 8. It even utilizes a clever under-engine exhaust layout. This keeps the center of gravity incredibly low and opens up massive amounts of clearance for mounting large, symmetrical aftermarket side panniers without making the bike feel incredibly wide. Realistic used prices run $4,500 to $6,500. This makes it one of the cheapest bikes on this whole countdown. This is built for the asphalt-only tourer or distance commuter who wants tall visibility and a wallet-friendly price tag. Our next bike takes that same commuter-friendly attitude and adds a third cylinder for good measure. Crashing the party at number 6, Triumph Tiger 1200 GT Explorer. Produced from 2022 through 2026, this is Triumph flexing its signature inline triple architecture at a full 1,160 cubic centimeters. It sounds like nothing else on this list, and that alone sells half the units. Here comes the range math. 7.9 gallons multiplied by 45 miles per gallon equals 355.5 miles. This is one of the longest ranges in this entire countdown. It comes stock with heated rider and passenger seating alongside a highly adjustable, wind-deflecting front fairing. Nobody in the saddle is complaining about the cold. This machine also features a lightweight, maintenance-free shaft drive system. It completely removes the need to clean or lubricate a filthy chain at the end of a long, dusty 12-hour highway haul. The triple-cylinder layout gets constantly compared to Triumph's smaller street bikes. Because of this, buyers forget this is a full touring machine wearing an adventure costume. 355.5 miles from a triple this eager to rev is a genuinely rare achievement. It means fuel stops become an option rather than a requirement on most day rides. Triumph even built a blind spot radar system right into the rear tail section. It flashes bright warning lights inside your side mirrors whenever a fast-moving sports car hides out of your line of sight. Used pricing lands between $15,000 and $18,500. This is a fair ask for that unique 3-cylinder exhaust note and serious mile-crushing efficiency. This is the bike for the road-biased touring rider who wants fast highway passing power without switching to 4 cylinders. If this list is already changing your mind about what a touring bike should sound like, smash that like button before we keep going. Locking down number 5, Kawasaki KLR 650. The fuel-injected generation runs from 2022 to 2026. This finally fixes the carburetor quirks that plagued this bike for decades. Power comes from a single-cylinder engine at 652 cubic centimeters. This is about as simple as motorcycling gets in the modern era. 6.1 gallons times 50 miles per gallon delivers 305 miles of range. This is a genuinely impressive number for a thumper this basic. The rubber-isolated handlebar layout and rubber foot peg inserts suppress the harsh single-cylinder vibrations. These would otherwise numb your hands by lunchtime. To handle the extra electrical strain of modern touring gear, Kawasaki beefed up the generator capacity on this generation. This gives you plenty of juice to run heated jackets, GPS units, and dual smartphone chargers simultaneously. The KLR has spent so many years being the punchline of adventure riding forums. People forget the current fuel-injected version actually fixed almost every old complaint. 305 miles from a bike, this cheap and this simple is basically unheard of anywhere else on the market, carbureted or not. It is the definition of putting your money into the road instead of the badge. It even includes a heavy-duty, integrated rear luggage rack made of solid tubular steel. This gives you a massive platform to strap down heavy duffel bags or camping gear right out of the box. Used prices run $4,500 to $6,000. This makes it one of the most affordable long-range bikes on the planet. This is the machine for the absolute minimalist overlander who wants dead simple mechanics and parts you can find in literally any country on Earth. Our next bike takes minimalism and throws it out the window in favor of pure German technology. Picture it, you buy the bike. It looked clean, it sounded great. 3 weeks later, the bills start, a worn chain, tired forks, a service the seller never mentioned. That's thousands gone on a bike you already paid full price for. Our inspection checklist catches every one of those before you pay, walking the bike like a mechanic. Spend $49 now or lose thousands later. Scan the QR on the right or tap the link in the description. Don't let a hidden problem drain your wallet. Rewriting the rules at number 4, BMW R1250GS Adventure. Built from 2019 to 2023, it runs the legendary Boxer Twin at 1,254 cubic centimeters. This configuration has survived decades of BMW touring dominance for good reason. The range math here shows exactly why it earns its place at the top of the pack. 7.9 gallons multiplied by 45 miles per gallon equals an enormous 355.5 miles on a single tank. The 𝗕𝗨𝗬𝗘 adjustable seat and wide handlebars completely eliminate shoulder tension, even on the kind of days where you simply do not stop riding. This ultimate distance machine utilizes a massive, heavy-duty aluminum bash plate and integrated crash bars. These wrap completely around those vulnerable cylinder heads, protecting the heart of the engine from catastrophic rock strikes out in the wilderness. For years, every adventure bike on the market was measured against this one, whether its manufacturer admits it or not. This is the machine that proved a motorcycle could genuinely replace a truck for crossing a continent. 355.5 miles from a bike this heavy and this loaded down with luggage is a genuinely staggering number. It did not earn its reputation through marketing. It earned it through actual, documented, dirt-covered mileage. It also boasts BMW's famous 𝗕𝗨𝗬𝗜 front suspension system. This mechanically eliminates front-end dive under heavy braking, so the chassis remains perfectly level and stable when dropping anchor at highway speeds. Used prices sit between $14,500 and $18,500. This is a fair toll for a bike engineered specifically to cross remote, off-grid continents without a single fuel stop. This is the ultimate machine for the hardcore adventure tourist who measures a trip in countries, not miles. Our next entry proves you do not need a single extra cylinder to go the distance. You just need an engine that refuses to quit. Winning with smarter engineering at number 3, Husqvarna 701 Enduro Long Range. Built from 2020 to 2024, Husqvarna took their already excellent single-cylinder platform at 693 cc and simply bolted on a bigger tank. Sometimes the smartest engineering decision is also the simplest one. The result is 6.6 gallons multiplied by 55 miles per gallon. This equals 316.8 miles of range from a bike that looks like it belongs on a dirt bike track. The highly technical, standing-friendly chassis keeps your knees perfectly positioned on rugged, broken paths for hours at a time. The brilliant part of this layout is the split tank architecture. It divides the fuel capacity between a standard front tank and an underseat rear tank. This keeps the overall weight distribution perfectly balanced so the bike never feels top-heavy. Most riders assume a bike built this much like a dirt bike simply cannot have real range. That is exactly the assumption that keeps this thing so criminally underpriced. 316.8 miles from a single-cylinder enduro is a number that would make plenty of full-size adventure bikes genuinely embarrassed. It proves you do not need extra cylinders. You just need a bigger tank and smarter engineering. It also features an integrated ride-by-wire throttle system with lean angle-sensitive traction control. This means you can safely whack the gas open on slick, muddy roads without the rear tire instantly swapping places with the front. Realistic used pricing runs $9,000 to $11,500. This is a genuine bargain for this kind of range from a bike this light on its feet. This is built specifically for backcountry discovery route riders who want true dirt bike capability without sacrificing the fuel payload of a full-size overland rig. Our next bike swings the pendulum completely toward the beginner rider, and it might just be the smartest entry on this entire list. Sipping fuel with pure efficiency at number 2, Honda CB500X. Sold from 2019 to 2023, the CB500X is proof that you do not need a giant tank or a giant engine to crack the 300-mile mark. The parallel twin engine displaces a modest 471 cubic centimeters. It sips fuel like it is being paid to conserve it. Check this math out. 4.6 gallons multiplied by an incredible 70 miles per gallon equals 322 miles. This is the single most efficient number-crunching entry on this entire countdown. A light clutch pull combined with compliant, long-travel front forks keeps your whole body relaxed, even over broken, pothole-riddled pavement. Honda engineered the power delivery with a flat, linear torque curve that peaks early. This allows you to short shift into top gear and chug smoothly along at highway speeds while barely burning a drop of fuel. People assume a beginner-friendly bike this size cannot possibly outrange a full-blown adventure tourer, and yet here it sits, quietly beating half this list on efficiency alone. 70 miles per gallon is not a typo, and it is not a hybrid, and it is not electric. It is just a small, smart, well-sorted engine doing exactly what it was designed to do without any drama whatsoever. It features a 19-inch front wheel that rolls effortlessly over deep road imperfections. It also includes a high-definition liquid crystal display screen that stays perfectly visible even in blinding, direct midday sunlight. Used pricing runs a genuinely low $4,800 to $6,200. This is the right bike for the new or downsizing rider who wants an ultra-reliable, approachable long-range machine without the intimidation factor. Let us know in the comments which one of these 12 you would actually park in your garage. We read every single one before we reveal the final bike on this list. Claiming the #1 spot with dominance, BMW R1300GS Adventure. And here it is, the bike that just rewrote the modern idea of an unstoppable overland machine. Fresh off the line between 2024 and 2026, this is the newest and most technologically loaded bike on this entire countdown. The Boxer twin engine now measures a full 1,300 cc. It shows in every single number. 7.9 gallons multiplied by 48 miles per gallon equals an absolutely massive 379.2 miles. This is the longest range on this whole list by a wide margin. Adaptive vehicle ride height control actually drops the chassis down at stops. This eliminates the low-speed handling anxiety that scares off shorter riders. It also features a fully automated shift assistant option. This removes the clutch lever completely and lets the bike manage gear changes smoothly so you can focus entirely on tracking mountain switchbacks. Being so new, most riders have not even had time to form an opinion about it yet. They don't realize it just quietly rewrote the range numbers for the entire GS lineup. 379.2 miles means you could realistically ride from breakfast to dinner in a completely different state without ever unscrewing the fuel cap. That is not touring anymore. That is basically teleportation. The front nose section features a matrix LED headlight assembly that actually steers its light beam directly into the corners as you lean. It illuminates dangerous potholes or wildlife before you even turn the handlebars. Being this fresh to the secondary market, used prices sit between $22,000 and $25,500. This is the bike for the tech-forward premium buyer who wants the latest automated safety alongside elite highway touring stability. It earns the #1 spot because it does not just go the distance, it makes every other bike on this list look like it is running on fumes by comparison. 12 motorcycles, 12 tanks that refuse to run dry before the 300-mile mark. While somebody else is pulling off the highway for the 3rd time today, you could be crossing an entire state line without ever touching the fuel cap. Click on the next video on your screen right now and keep the ride going. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel and like this video.